All right. So, no, I lost you guys again. Hold on a minute. There. All right. There you are. I have too many windows open, so I keep losing you. All right. So, this week we're going over what it means to play and the different kinds of play and what the curriculum planning process is. And so, in this class, I'm going to be teaching you, obviously, I'm going to be teaching you. Oh, yes, add PDF to the name. OHAD, it's in the bookstore, but then you have to pay a lot of money for the book. If you want to find a cheaper version, you want to put it in Google. Search Google. Okay. So I was talking about play, right? So I'm going to teach you, of course, how to plan curriculum for children, but because this is an 8-week class, it's impossible for me to teach you everything. So in this class, I teach you what stance to take and what books to refer to help you to use as references and to support you in your planning of curriculum. And so today we're going to talk about the curriculum planning. That's what the curriculum planning process is. So I'm going to teach you how to observe children and document it and how that all fits together with planning curriculum. And then positive descriptive acknowledgement. I'm going to talk about a lot in this class. That's part of the teaching pyramid, so we're going to get to that. So at the beginning of every week, you have a to-do list. And so there's stuff in the module that you can look at, and this tells you what's due when. So those are your assignments. There's usually one assignment. Well, actually, there's two assignments, and one you usually put in the discussion forum. And this particular module, so after week 2, there's a quiz, and the quiz is on chapter 1, 2, and 3 of the book. The quiz is so that I know you read the book. There's no high-level thinking involved. It's just stuff out of the book. And you can take it as many times as you want, and the computer will save the best score, and you can take as long as you want. So it's not to trick you. There are no trick questions. It's just, I need to know you read the book. Because I'm moving fast, right? It's an 8-week class. I'm moving fast. So I don't really talk about the book. I talk about this stuff. But it's hard for you to understand it if you didn't read the book. Okay? And so here's another version of the same thing, just in calendar form for you. And these are all the links to what you need. So everything with a blue link is stuff that's in this class, and you just click on it and you can see it. Okay? So for this class, for the final project, you're going to need to write a learning story. And so you can observe a child that you know or that you have access to. Maybe you're already working in the field. You can observe the children in your classroom. That would be the best. But if you don't have access to children, I've got some pre-approved videos right here. And you can choose one of those if you want. Okay? And then we're also going to be talking about the DRDP, the Desired Results Developmental Profile. So I've got that there in English, Spanish, and Chinese. And so you need to pick the one that goes with the age of the child that you're observing. So the toddler one is everybody under 3 and everybody over 3. 3 years old in one day is the preschool one. Okay, and then developmentally appropriate practice is, again, so we're taking a stance, right, about how we are with children, how we're going to be. And so to help with that is the developmentally appropriate practice executive summary. And so a lot of classes have you read the book. We're not reading the book. This is just something good for you to know to help you set the context for what play is. And so that's why you have that in your links. So let me move to the next page. So every module has one page of stuff usually, except in week 3, we have 2 pages of information because there's so much. So we're going to be talking about the project approach today and the curriculum planning process. Okay, so play is intrinsically motivated and spontaneous. So this part's straight out of the book, and it's, children can't help but play, right? If you try to hold them down, they're going to want to get up anyway. They're just wired to learn. They're born with everything they need to learn. So it's our job to provide a carefully prepared environment that can support that learning and that exploration and that motivation that comes from inside them. We don't have to give them anything. We just set out the environment and support the learning. So we want to do a child-directed, adult-supported environment. So I'm going to say that again, child-directed. So that means we're not holding up stuff and telling them to copy us, because that would be adult-directed, right? We want to be child-directed. And so we're going to talk about process-oriented and product-oriented. So for young children, it's going to be more about the process, especially with the babies. Infants and toddlers, it's all about process. They don't care what it looks like in the end. They're not thinking about that at all. As they get older, they're going to be thinking more about what the end product is. And you want it to engage children. So, and it should be flexible, self-imposed by the child. So that's the child-directed part. And it needs to be flexible. It might change at the drop of a hat, because children sometimes, their interests quickly change. And so it's important to be flexible. And so in this class, I have these stars throughout the class. And that's for Hey Did You Know? And so that's, there's a little video about that lower down. And I'm going to do it live tonight, but there's a recording in the module here. So these videos, they, depending on how you learn, what's best for you, I put in a lot of stuff in these modules, and it's good to know. They help you a lot, but you don't have to watch them all. If you're pressed for time, pick the things that you don't quite understand and watch all those videos. Okay? So take in what you need to understand what I'm talking about. You don't have to watch them all. But there's one about introducing play and how children learn. So this is still straight out of the book. So there's functional play, symbolic play. And so I'm going to skip all this. This is straight out of the book. These pictures are from my teaching and my coaching. And I put these in here as an example. This one especially, this one with the magnetiles. Because so there's always I always get in fights with other teachers about this. You don't need to put everything on a tray. So what we're doing as teachers, we're learning to observe children. And if it looks like the tray is getting in the way, you don't need a tray. So if I put a tray on this table with this child with the magnetiles, they probably wouldn't do so. They wouldn't make such a big fancy building, let's say, because they would make it fit in the tray. So in general, I use the trays for when I'm doing something messy that's going to fall on the floor and get sticky or whatever, right? And so you be flexible in how you're setting up for the children and what you're setting out for children. Okay? And, whoops. Okay. All right, next in here. This is still in the book. Okay, so this one's a good one. It's just a little, if it's better for you to do videos, this one's is very short about the different theorists. And so if you're new to Canvas, to open these up, you push the expand all and they all open at once. or you can open one at a time. It's up to you how you want to do that. Okay? But I try to smash it all on one page so you don't get lost in Canvas. So there's one per week. Okay, so this is still from the book, and I have videos to support them. So this is social stages of play. And then here are the theorists, the big theorists. And here's the hey, did you know? And so let me turn this back for a minute. And so I'm going to do the hey, did you know early. So it fits the canvas. So I've got this. You guys see that? If you pin my square, it'll get big. So this is from the Dollar Tree, and it's one of those little painting sets. And it's got a paint roller and a paintbrush and gloves, and it was $1. And so I usually say, so hey, did you know that children love real things? They love them. They love real things. And so this is this one is really good. All children love to paint. They love to paint, right? And so on a hot day, you can take that outside and you can have them paint cement with water. And they love it. They love it. They love it no matter what age they are. This little tray will not be enough for if you use water. And you got to be careful because this one is a foam roller. It used to be one of those fuzzy ones, but now it's foam. So if you're doing this with the toddlers, you need to pay attention because they might start biting the foam. And so you might want to change that to a fuzzy one, that if they bite it, they're not going to get a piece of foam. But you're going to need at least three or four of these, and use one of the toy bins from the classroom and put water in it because you're going to need a lot of water. And you just go, oh, wow, look, you're painting. And you just describe what you see, and they have a good time. And so if they do that a lot, they're going to get used to it. They're going to learn to have control and be able once they get good at it and they have a lot of control, that's when you can add a new element. And so for young children, you want to have repetition with a little bit of novelty. So it's the same but different. And so once they get good at the water, then you can switch over to paint. And so that's when you use this thing and you put just a drip in there. And for infants and toddlers, you put the paint on the brush and then you hand it to them. And as they get better at it, then you can put the cup on the table and give them access to the cup. But in the beginning, that's how you do it. And again, you let them practice and practice repetition with a little bit of changes. And so anyway, they love that. They love painting with water or paint. Doesn't matter. They like real things. If you show them this and then a bright plasticky one, they're going to pick this one because it looks real. Okay? So does anybody have any questions about that? No? Okay, so I'm going to go back to Canvas here. Okay, so these are all the theorists, and they're all in the book. And what's important, I'm going to say it over and over. The child-directed part, that's the constructivist part. So let me move me here. I'll put myself over here. So constructivist is where you and the child are co-creating meaning from play. That's what we're doing. The child constructs their own meaning through their play. And Vygotsky is, we do it in the context of relationships. That's the Vygotsky part. And scaffolding is when you help them a little bit. So let's say an easy one is when a child puts their shoes on, sometimes they need help tying their shoe, right? And so when you give them a little bit of help for them to be able to get to the next level in their development, that's scaffolding. And the next level of their development is the zone of proximal development. It's the very next level in their development. Okay? Cognitive development, emotional development, all in the book. And schema. Schema is part of Piaget. An example of that is um, Piaget is famous for saying, every time you do something for a child, you took away their chance to learn it themselves. Have you guys heard that before? That's one of the famous Piaget lines. Okay, and so all of these, they're in the book, they're here. Need to know them, good to know. I'm going to keep going. Play as DAP, developmentally appropriate curriculum, or practice. Here's another video about it, learning through play. This is straight out of the book, and videos to go with it to support it, depending on your learning style. They're pretty short. See, that one's a 3-minute one. These are the conditions that support play, straight out of the book. Questions about play. Violent play comes up a lot. You don't want them to have guns, blah, blah, blah. But I coached a teacher, and she let them play about guns and talk about guns. And then, so she would say things. Well, when you see the police, are they running with their guns in the air, or are their guns in their holster? And they went, oh, it's in their holster. Okay, good. Okay. So when we're pretending like we're policemen, our guns are in our holster, right? And so just be real careful with that. Make it age appropriate. And that particular teacher got Teacher of the Year that year from First Five. So, and that was a project. They did it for a month, I think, maybe 5 weeks. So be really listening to the children and flexible in what is interesting to them. And there's a video about that. That was a 15-minute video. Okay, and this is about working with families and supporting play. And then here's the curriculum planning process. And so I've got in the books, in the framework books, on page 19 through 24, is the explanation of the curriculum planning process. And so basically, I'm going to move myself out of the way here. We're starting with observation, right? So that's the first assignment for week 2, is you're going to write down what you see a child do in 200 words. Don't do more than that, or don't do more than 500, right? So I don't need a big long novel, but I need you to write down the things that the child is doing that are important to the story that you want to tell. So maybe you saw a child for the first time take a step. So you're going to describe the things connected to taking a step, right? You're not going to write down that a leaf floated down next to the child, right? Because that doesn't really have anything to do with the child taking a step. So you're going to, because you can, later in week 3, I'm going to give you an assignment to write a learning story about the video that I posted. And that video is 45 seconds long. And I managed to come up with 200 words from 45 seconds. So you don't need to watch very long to get what you need to write your observation section. Write down what you need. Okay? And you want to be looking at what you see, not what you think you see. So you're not writing down, they sat down and played. You're writing down, the child looked up and then stood up and walked over and picked up the truck with their right hand. Do you see the difference? So play is too vague, especially when we're trying to figure out what development is happening for that child. So anyway, so we're going to observe, and then we're going to write it down as the documenting part, and then we're going to plan. We're going to look at what we documented, what we wrote down about that child, and we're going to plan future curriculum, and then we're going to implement it. And then when we implement it, we observe again, and we document it again. And so it's cyclical. It's a cycle. And we do that over and over and over. So some people call this the reflective planning process. Some people call it reflective teaching. Some people call it slow teaching. There's a lot of words for this, but you want to observe, document, plan, and implement. Okay? Any questions? No? Okay. And then down here, so here's an example. I got an example for you guys. And this is a picture from Anji. That's coming next week. Okay, so when we're observing children, okay, what did the child do or say? And so I went through this already. So it should be past simple, which means it's all past tense with no ing words. Real straight past tense. Because a learning story is a story about what you observe that child do, and you're celebrating what they've learned or how they've developed. It's a story about, it's a celebration of something they've accomplished. And so it's what happened in the past. You took that first step today. It was so exciting. I knew you could do it. So it's all in the past. Okay, so that's that. We have 5 more minutes here. Okay, so here's the assignment for week 2 is the teaching pyramid. And the teaching pyramid is a way to, I think it's in week 1 where it's, we use it to explicitly teach children friendship skills, social and emotional skills. And it's required in all subsidized programs in San Francisco County. So I'm not going to teach you that. It's a 40-hour training that you go through once you get hired at a site. But I'm laying the groundwork for it. And so basically the first layer is most children. That's level 1 is most children. And that's when you use everything you learn at school, and that is all your ECE classes and just high quality care. And then some kids, just with that is not enough for some children, and they need a little bit more to learn social skills. Maybe they're not picking up facial cues from people, and if they just need to get a little bit of help, then they go back down to the level 1 with everybody else, bottom of the pyramid, we say. And so those might be PDAs. We might use positive descriptive acknowledgement to help children learn those social cues that they may be missing. So I might say, "Oh, look, you made room for your friend on the bench. That is so friendly." So now they know to be a friend, to be friendly, I need to make room for my friend on the bench. "Oh, you let Landy use the blocks. That's so friendly." Well, now I know if I'm going to be friendly, I'm going to let Landy use the blocks. And so when we use positive descriptive acknowledgement, we point out, we say what we see, and it's only things that we want them to do again. And it's just say what you see. It's not a question. It's just a statement. So no one has to answer you. So if you say, "Is that safe?" That's not a PDA. And so also in the PDA form is another article about what to say instead. And so you've heard it a lot from teachers where they say, use your walking feet, right? Keep your feet on the floor. Instead of don't stop, get down. You say, keep your feet on the floor, use your walking feet. And then when you see them running, you can say, put your feet on the floor, slow down, I don't want you to get hurt. You tell them what you want and why. And then when they do it, then you say, oh, look, your feet are on the floor, you're so safe. Oh, look, you're using your walking feet. That's so responsible. Those are PDAs. You just say what you see. But is that safe? Is not a PDA. Okay? So I've got that in English, Spanish, and Chinese there. And here is a video. And parts of it are in Spanish, but they're all English subtitles of a teacher doing the PDAs. This is straight from the teaching pyramid training. And so those are an example for you. And then this says, for the assignment, you want to think back to what you did to get ready for this class. Maybe you downloaded the syllabus. Maybe you read through all of the homework. I don't know. Whatever you did, you write it here. And then you respond to somebody else with a PDA about what they did. So let's say somebody downloaded the syllabus. So I would go on and reply to them, and I would say, you downloaded the syllabus. That was really good. You got ready for the class, and now you know what's due. So that's the PDA part. So I want you guys to respond to anybody in the class, anybody in the forum, with a positive descriptive acknowledgement. It's a you statement. You. You want to start with a you. Okay? Here's your examples right here. You supported the children with kind words as they played. Here's another one. You were very attentive with the boy you helped at the table. You. You were patient with the child and didn't rush them. That's all for this video. Okay? And so that's what goes here. You guys have any questions about that? No? And if you want some extra credit, you can go back to week 1 and add some more PDAs, and you can get extra credit that way. Okay? And if you were wondering, the rubric is up here. Let me move this over a little bit. You see? Right here. Rubric. So this is how I do the grading, and so you know exactly how you're going to be graded. So for this assignment, there's 10 possible, but you can get 15 if you do the extra credit. Okay? And if you don't get full credit, I always write down in the comments what you need to do to get full credit. And you can always resubmit. You can resubmit everything twice for each assignment. Okay? So here's your assignment. This one you're just handing in to me and no one else is going to read it for now. And I have an example of it here. You're going to put your name, the context. I need to know how old the child is. That's the main thing. I need to know how old the child is. And then you write down, you can make up anything. This part is not being graded, the intention, but it is an element of a learning story. And so I just put it in there, but you don't get graded on it. And then your observation needs to be 200 words. Okay? And I need to change this. They can be over 3. I need to put under 5. So 0 to 5 is the age. So I need to make sure all those numbers are right. And these are all the pieces of a learning story. And these are the dates for when things are due. And so if you do really well and your rough draft is good, you can just copy and paste it for your final presentation. So you're going to have like 3 weeks to get it right. Okay, and there's another example of what it should look like. And then these are the videos to choose from that I showed you earlier. So you choose one and you use it for the whole class for all of these assignments. There's 4 assignments for this. Okay? And the rubric is here too. And then this is me explaining the learning story as well. Oh, where did it go? Is it in the bottom? There it is. Everything has a rubric and tells you. So just the basics, that's the context. Yeah, this is the context, and then this is the observation. Okay? And the length right there. Any questions? So I'll make all of that match tonight. I didn't check that yet. So let me see what's next in this module. I think that's it. There's your quiz. And I told you about the quiz already. And this is the last page. I put these at the end of every week, and it's a video. It's a recording of a roundtable with the authors who wrote Don't Look Away. And it's a book about embracing anti-bias in classrooms. and because it's not required, but it's really good information, and there's 6 of them, and so I put them all over my class. And this is just a recap of what's due and what you're supposed to do. Okay, so do you guys have any questions? I know some of you are new to online learning, and so I just want to make sure you guys are ready. No questions? You doing okay? Yes. Which books? Okay, so those are over here in week 1. So I'm going to click over to week 1. They're on the overview page. Right, we're in the second week now, but the links, if you're missing a link, they're all in the week 1. Let me move this over so you can see it. This is in the week 1 overview page. And so here are the links. Here are all your links. See, here's the preschool one. Oh, I see what you mean. There's no 2 and 3, right? So which Oh, don't buy them. Don't buy them. They're all free. They're all here. Yeah. Well, they're reference books. And see, I say read 19 through 24 and see it's a PDF. It's in here. All 300 pages are in here. See? It's a whole book. Yeah, they're all there waiting for you. Wait, can you say that again? Okay. So to find out what's due, you look at week 2 and you look on the overview page. It's the first one of the week, this overview right here. And it lists what's due right here. So you've got a discussion on Tuesday, and then you reply on Thursday, and you upload your observation, your child observation, and you take the test. And you can work ahead. You don't have to wait for me, but don't go up too far ahead because most people don't do well when they do that. But this tells you exactly when everything's due, and these are live links, and so it'll take you right to that assignment. Okay? Did it feel like more was due and you're like, what's going on? Is Okay, so right here it says you read 2 and 3 in the Guess Wiki book. That's the developmentally appropriate curriculum book. That's the only book you have to buy if you can't find it when you Google it. It is out there in the internet for free if you Google it. And so the discussion I showed you is the PDA discussion about positive descriptive acknowledgement. So if you watch the video on the assignment page, and then all you have to do for that one is write down what you did to prepare for this class. So you already told me that you collected all the books. So that's what you write down. I collected all the books. I can't find one of them, but I got most of them. The end. So what's hard, I think what's hard is you are expecting a lot of work. You're expecting like these big fancy assignments, and this class is more about head work. There's a lot of thinking and critical thinking you got to do. But the output, what you have to actually upload and write down, is not very much. I want you to do a lot of head work. And I know it's hard, and you're like, I can't be passing this class if I'm only handing in 5 sentences. But really, it's all head work. And you'll know when you get your assignments back and you don't get A's. It's all head work. So, were you going to say something, Elena? I Tell me how I can help you. I know it's hard coming into my class because I front load it, and so that's why I said you don't have to read it all. It's all there for you, but read what you need to understand the concept, and then let the rest go if you don't have time. And remember, you can resubmit assignments up to 2 times per assignment. So do what you think is right and turn it in, and don't worry about it because you can fix it later if you need to. I don't take credit off. I don't take points off for turning things in late. But this class is really hard to just turn everything in and get full credit. It's really hard. I'm warning you, don't leave it till the end. It won't go well. You should try. You should try. I gave you a lot of instructions, a lot of things to explain. You can listen to the video that I posted introducing it, and you can read all of the information about learning stories. Something that I didn't really point out, but I can show you here, is I have some bonus modules in case you want some extra information. Again, I'm trying not to overwhelm people. Where did I put it? I did one, here they are, links to bonus modules. And in here, there's one on the learning system, the frameworks, and the DRDP. So if you want a more explanation about the framework books, there's some videos here. And then the other one is the DRDP is here. Whoops. There's more explanation about what the DRDP is and why we have it. And blah, 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 blah. It's all here. It's in, you click on modules, and then it's the very top one, very top one. It says bonus modules. And so it's all there. Like I said, I try not to overwhelm people, and it's not required, but if you don't know what I'm talking about, that'll help you. Or if there's a specific question you have, I can answer it. But that's where it's waiting to be helpful to you right there. This this one shows you how to use Canvas, and yeah, and there's a thing about, where I am or how I came here, and those are my kids. And yeah, so you just focus on these overview pages. If it's overwhelming, you just start there. Okay, and so last week was this one, and that's where it's the same thing. There's the calendar there that tells you what you need to do. Okay, any other questions, or do I need to explain that more? Okay. One time I had a student ask me, well, what chapter one and two and what? And so then I had to add the last name of the book. So I'm always learning. So if there's something that's not making sense, just let me know, and I'll fix it. Any more questions? No, it's not. It's that's the last name of the book that you have to buy or find it free on Google. That's the developmentally appropriate curriculum book. That's what that is. That's what chapter is. Okay, and that book is here. Carol Guest Wiki, Developmentally Appropriate Practice, Curriculum and Development in Early Education. Don't pay more than $20. Well, if you look hard in Google, you can find an older version for free, and that's okay. I don't care what version you buy. Okay, any other questions? No? Okay. All right then. So I'm going to go ahead and log off. And if you have questions, you can email me. You can message me in Pronto. That's the quickest way to reach me is through Pronto. And if I'm at my computer, I'll respond right away. And it's just up to you. And I think that's all I have to say. Anything else before I log off? Okay, I'll see you next week. Welcome.